Before we begin, I just want to lay down a foundation. There is a difference between playing a video game and experiencing a video game. To play a video game is to follow some set instructions or paths in order to set a series of events in motion. To experience a video game is to feel truly enriched and invested in that world and its characters. To truly invest in the adventure and feel like you're there, to have an emotional response. We all know the history of Sonic the Hedgehog. He was an icon in the 90s, but not always. He was an icon in the 2000s, but not always. And it's not news that like literally every other franchise that exists, he's had instances that have raised concern and doubt. See, here's the thing about me. My opinions are not always gonna be popular, but ultimately, unlike your higher paid YouTube titans, I am actually capable of thinking for myself, which means I am not jumping on the typical bandwagons of A, Sonic only works in 2D, B, Sonic 06 being one of the worst games of all time, or C, Sonic was never good in the first place. I am looking at you, IGN. These statements are just overreactions for the sake of sensationalism, and frankly, you as a consumer deserve better, and that applies for both criticism and production. Do I have your trust now? I sure hope so. That doesn't necessarily going to mean that you're gonna agree with me, but you can trust that this view comes from a good place. Sonic the Hedgehog's fanbase is quite a proactive and opinionated one, and that is by no means a bad thing. I think there's a pretty unanimous verdict as to Sonic the Hedgehog's all-time low. Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, the 15th anniversary game that was rushed into a single-year development cycle with an unrelenting Sega imposing ridiculous deadlines and dividing the team working on it, while working on new, unfamiliar hardware, while repurposing a character based in colourful cartoonish worlds into a realistic mythical story. Put it this way, Sega got the ridicule they deserved on this one, from the fanbase and critics alike. However, for me, the great fiasco of Sonic in 2006 does not represent the all-time low of the franchise, for me, that it does for what seems like everybody else. While Sega's business practices were abysmal here, I do feel like there was a certain degree of ambition, and considering it had only 1 year in development, there is an excellent amount of content here. I'd take quality over quantity any day, but it's not without its redeeming features, and if you really do get stuck in and look past the poor quality of programming and the very uncharacteristic storyline, there are certainly lots of enjoyment to be had here, for better or for worse, although I do acknowledge that ignore all the bad stuff is a bit too much of an ask. Is it the worst game ever? Please, it's not even the worst Sonic game. I don't even think it makes my bottom 5. I'll have to do a video on that eventually. If it's not that, it's usually Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. Divisive character designs, a wasted prequel, buggy, disastrous gameplay that defeats the object of Sonic's core appeal, a spin-off that no one really asked for. Yeah, we sure did have a good laugh at this one's expense, but ultimately Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric doesn't quite serve as the same level of character assassination as Sonic 06 did in regard to how Sonic is represented. And ultimately, it's another dimension. What happens in the Boom universe stays in the Boom universe. And yeah, we've all had our laughs at the Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer, me included. It's terrifying, but what for me is an all-time low in Sonic's entire tenure is something that a lot of people defend. It's something that I can't really laugh off, and it's totally canon, and continuing to affect Sonic to this day with no end really in sight. See, Sonic's all-time low, for me, begins with Sonic Unleashed. Sonic Unleashed followed Sonic the Hedgehog's 2006 disaster 2 years on in 2008, in an adventure that followed Sonic and friends across the globe for a groundbreaking international adventure. Literally, Doctor Eggman shattered planet Earth, unleashing all of the dark energy from its core to fuel his new self-themed amusement park. And it's up to Sonic to restore the planetary pieces, accompanied by his new friend Chip, the flying chihuahua, who's trying to discover himself while suffering from amnesia. There's old friends, new friends, more human characters than ever before, expansive hub world towns and lots of NPCs to chat with, and 2 ways to play. Sonic the Hedgehog, faster than ever, racing through platforming levels requiring fast reflexes in the daytime, and Sonic the Werehog, a more methodical, combat-based platformer in the nighttime. There are old friends and new friends, and it all ends with a climax involving a revelation for Chip discovering that he is an entity of light to counter the darkness, as well as a showdown between the Werehog and Eggman, and finally Supersonic caught in a battle between 2 kaijus of light and dark at the center of the Earth. The game's story clocks in at around 12 hours long with lots of additional optional content and unlockable rewards to earn. As well as this, the presentation is absolutely stunning with the best visuals the franchise has ever seen, both in gameplay and pre-rendered cutscenes, that are good enough to eclipse major Hollywood studios. Where am I going with this? Sonic Unleashed is amazing. Sonic Unleashed is, in my opinion, as near to perfection as it's gonna get with Sonic. It's the only game in the entire franchise to feature consistent and cohesive cinematic storytelling with good payoff and dialogue, while later games would come close, but no cigar. There is some debate as to whether or not Sonic Unleashed may be the longest Sonic game to date, however, it is certainly the most expansive Sonic game yet. But pup, this video is supposed to be all about Sonic's all-time low. Well, see, that's just it. It just never got better than this. In fact, it got progressively worse and nobody noticed. Sonic Unleashed at the time it came out received mixed reviews, with players praising the fast-paced daytime stages, but slamming the methodical, violent nighttime stages as the werehog, declaring the game only half good and in many cases okay at best, or just straight up hard to recommend. Sega wanted to reinvent their public image, and like a number of Sonic games with mid to low review scores, Sonic Unleashed was delisted and thus swept under the rug to make way for a new face for Sonic the Hedgehog and Sega. The landscape was adjusted with a new voice cast, and a less is more kind of attitude. Sonic Team were playing it safe with crowd-pleasing titles, the first of which was Sonic Colors, which took the fast-paced gameplay style of Sonic Unleashed and applied it to new levels that were mostly 2D, and that's really about it. There was no werehog, the hub worlds were completely omitted, the story took things back to basics, revolving around Sonic and Tails freeing a race of aliens from Doctor Eggman's control, and the game was short and sweet, totaling in about 5 hours long. Sonic Colors didn't really bring anything new to the table, it just doubled down on what worked before and trimmed the fat, with many declaring it to be Sonic's big comeback and the best Sonic game to date, for modern Sonic anyway. And I won't pretend that I can't see why, I totally can. Sonic Colors is a streamlined Sonic game that does exactly what you'd want a Sonic game to do, and absolutely nothing beyond that. Following this game came Sonic Generations, which saw the return of 2 playstyles and hub worlds with NPCs to chat to, as well as a return to the more versatile style of modern Sonic gameplay, as seen in Sonic Unleashed, complete with drifting capabilities. The difference was that rather than the other playstyle being the werehog, we instead got to play as a very faithful rendition of classic Sonic, which would surely be an improvement over the werehog, right? As it would maintain a fast pace for the game. This would surely be Sonic perfected, and in a way, it was, but as far as the whole shebang goes as a package, Sonic Generations just doesn't live up to Sonic Unleashed for me. For starters, Sonic Generations' presentation was an immediate downgrade in that the game lacked any pre-rendered CGI cutscenes and the cinematic style of storytelling of its 2008 predecessor. We got to play some spectacular levels and gameplay, however, because of a lack of any greater context, we didn't really get to experience it in as great of a sense as we did in Sonic Unleashed anyway. There was a story, but it was simply to tie levels together this time, and any and all dialogue was purely exposition. Basically, the story is that a mysterious being has flung Sonic and his friends through time and space and been draining color from Sonic's past worlds, and the 2 Sonics run through these. They restore color and life as well as their friends. The revelation is that the Time Eater is actually Dr. Eggman and Dr. Robotnik of the past working together. As fun of a novelty as it is to see a crossover between the Sonic of the 90s and Sonic today, nothing was done with any further potential of this story, meaning that the whole package didn't quite deliver the experience or adventure that Unleashed did. While the hub worlds returned, it was a very different deal altogether. The hub worlds were now small, strictly 2D spaces to play host to the main levels and side missions. There was only one NPC to talk to per hub world, and it would just be a Sonic character that could offer you little hints or a little context, but nothing more. No fortune teller or anything like in Sonic Unleashed. And the store that you had access to was now a robot that sold power-ups, as opposed to selling any other food items that Sonic could really interact with, or having any character to talk to. Were these truly necessary in Unleashed? No, but they contributed to these characters and this world just feeling that little bit more involving and engaging. This would go on to become a growing problem in the status quo of Sonic. Sure, they were focused and streamlined, but the no-frills approach made the games feel far smaller and less enriched. It was nice to really learn about Sonic's world and take a casual stroll through it between the running stages. In those hub worlds, there are side missions, but rather than having little character-based stories segueing into those missions, they are instead just portals. Now, it must be stated that modern Sonic's gameplay and level design were the best they've ever been. This game was definitely great, however there was just something missing. After this, we had the Wii U and Steam exclusive Sonic Lost World, which is basically Sonic Does Mario Galaxy, and I've actually really ended up liking it. However, it still lacked the cinematic storytelling and greater world building of Sonic Unleashed, which brings us to the latest in the Sonic main series, Sonic Forces. And while not a terrible game, while not the worst Sonic game of all time, Sonic Forces represents the final outcome of Sonic's all-time low for me. Sonic Forces may attempt a more cinematic story than ever before, but it completely misses the mark in every conceivable way. Nothing in this story is earned, be it the character of Infinite, be it the arc of the Rookie, be it the world domination war plot, be it Sonic's fake-out death and inevitable return. The characters only exist to serve this plot and behave in ways that do not fit their characters or the general world of Sonic whatsoever. It is completely flanderized for the sake of the apocalypse. Sonic Forces throws literally everything at the wall and not a single part of it sticks for long. Levels are the shortest they've ever been in the main series, completable from beginning to end of the game, often within one single minute, and they barely have any actual player input or interaction. So much time is just spent on autopilot, just watching Sonic and the Rookie deliver spectacle, but never experiencing it and truly feeling involved. As well as this, presentation is flat and stiff with no cinematic storytelling or cutscenes or anything like that. There's abysmal dialogue, and just nothing for the player to really interact with outside of the main missions. It is 100% mission-based, with no exploration whatsoever, clocking in at just 2 hours if you take your time with it, or are just prepared to sit through the lengthy text cutscenes. So, in short form, Sonic's all-time low is this. How the heck did this series go from this to this? In the past 10 years, we've had tons of Sonic games, from Sonic and the Black Knight to Sonic 4 Episode 2, but there hasn't been a Sonic experience like Sonic Unleashed. And the fact that 11 years ago, we had no clue that we would never again be able to explore a Sonic game to this extent, that we'd never get a story this engaging ever again, and an adventure of this scale ever again in this franchise, is simply one of the most tragic things ever to happen to this character, as it represents an unfulfilled potential in favor of complacency and safe play. And now, reviews are no more consistent than what we had with Sonic Unleashed, and sales are in the toilet with very few exceptions. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that I needed Sonic Unleashed 2, but I feel that Sonic Unleashed presented us with a perfect model for modern Sonic games. A world map with a small number of highly interactive hub worlds outside of main story missions, a 12-hour-long story with cohesive cinematic storytelling. It's things like this that make the iconic gameplay so rewarding. You could pair that with any other gameplay styles like the adventure gameplay, and I think it would still work because it's what allows the player to really invest in the adventure, the exploration. It's the meat on those bare bones, and you can tell people to stop complaining all you want, but credit where credit is due. Sega and Sonic Team are known to listen, and what they need to see is that this is not good enough. And admittedly, these games were never expensive, and I do appreciate that, but Sonic Forces had a 4-year development cycle while Sonic Unleashed had 2, allegedly. And Sonic Unleashed is better on pretty much every single conceivable level. I don't want to wait 4 years to pay a small price for a tiny game. I would rather pay full price for a full Sonic experience that is worth the wait. The fact that Sonic Team got it so dang right with Sonic Unleashed and presented us with such a perfect, promising model of things to come, and then it just disappeared. We just blinked and it was gone. It's just one of the most painful things I've experienced as a fan of any franchise. The decline to the bottom because of a neglect for world building. These things may not be necessary for a Sonic game, but they are for a Sonic experience. And to me, it's not just about the speed. It's not just about the platforming. In a modern Sonic game, there needs to be exploration, context, and a rewarding sense of catharsis to make the game truly gratifying as an experience. And maybe you think I'm expecting too much, but that's null and void because they did it 11 years ago, so give me one good reason why they shouldn't attempt to achieve that again. That isn't just a lame excuse. So, what's your take? Hit me up in the comments below, and as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the like button, and consider the Patreon link in the description below. And while you're there, why not pay me a visit on Discord? I'm very talkative. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a great day. Oh hey gang, look at this! Channel Goat is back! But he's got bad news. His computer was hacked by the Adzinco gang, and they leaked his private information. And now his goat cojones are there for everybody to see. Ah man, that's quite a predicament you got there, Channel Goat. And the thing is, you're not the only one. Do you know how many people get hacked per year and have their personal information and data spread online for all to see? A lot. Like, look it up. And I know what the rest of you are thinking. It hasn't happened to me, yet. Well, emphasis on yet. I mean, how old are you? Right, now how long is the average human lifespan? That's a lot of time that you could get hacked in. And by the time that's done, everybody is gonna know what your pee-pee looks like. Do you really want that? Do you really want the world to see your pee-pee? You run that risk every single day, guys. Seriously, hackers, pretty talented people. Which is why I, for one, use NordVPN to protect my private information and my Nords. It shuffles your data so that it can't be found by hackers, but not only that, it can also unlock the worldwide range of Netflix. And like, who wouldn't want that, right? Now you can really maximize your subscription. The fact is, guys, you could save yourself the stress and a lawsuit by simply browsing with NordVPN. And I've made it easy for you. A link is in the description below. And this subscription comes with a promise. Nobody has to know what you're into anymore. You little furry you. Anyway, sign up today. Seriously, do it. Please? For your sweet little puppy. This video is brought to you by Zentai for all your cosplay needs. Link is in the description below and they are very cool and good. Cosplay your favorite characters or send in one of your own designs. Affordable prices and very high quality. Made to order and made to measure. But most of all, made to be heckin' awesome, if you couldn't already tell. Guys, can you believe where we are now and where we started? How long ago it was that Channel Pup, or Channel Go even, came about? Because it really wasn't that long when you think about it. Can you believe the amount of support I've received from this community, from all of you subscribing to the channel and everything? It's unreal. It's a dream come true for me. But behind the YouTubers you watch usually comes a bit of a truth, is that they're often dirt poor. Now, I've had the good fortune of being able to grow this YouTube channel and hopefully turn it into a career, but I'm gonna need a little bit of help along the way, to even the odds, to make ends meet, so that I can use all of the possible time that I have to make videos for you guys, as opposed to doing something mundane, for barely enough money to make it worth its while. I've done all that, I've lived that life. The fact is, together we all built Channel Pup, we made it what it is today, and I want to keep the ball rolling on that. I don't ever want to stop doing this, because this is the most gratifying job I've ever had, and I think the most pleasurable hobby anyone could ever have. I don't take any of the support that I receive from you guys for granted, but if in any way you're wondering if maybe you could do a little more for the channel even, then I want to direct you to the Patreon link in the description below. It would mean the world to me to have your support via Patreon. It can help me to make ends meet, it can help me to better my content, it can help me to have more time to really work on this stuff. But you know what, I'm not just going to take your support and run. No way, Jose. In the Patreon, you can access exclusive videos via the Pups Project Room playlist, where you can see different projects that I've been working on or have worked on that have either not made it to YouTube for general viewing or have been cancelled, or, well, you can get a little view of the process that goes behind the Channel Pup videos and productions. As well as that, you tend to get advanced previews of the bigger Channel Pup projects, our tentpole event projects. If you've seen Marvelous Tales of Spider-Man, you'll be aware that that was released on the Patreon first, and 20 days later approximately was released for general viewing on YouTube. That's not the only time I'm gonna do this. But you know what? If you can't do the Patreon, or are just not interested in doing the Patreon, I fully understand. Like, it's still a big ask in my opinion. And what counts most is your support. So, as always, thank you so much, guys. I've been Channel Pup, and I will think of a better catchphrase next time. Now, please leave me